Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44. You can also catch me on my Facebook page, True Divine, and it is the True Divine for both Instagram and Twitter. Any likes, shares, subscribes, and comments, greatly appreciated on any of those platforms. Much love to everybody who does that thus far. Of course, you'll probably know the comments are my favourite. I would do get back to people. I do like to see where people are at and what's happening in their journey. These readings are to help support, guide, and inspire and navigate you through your day. I work with energy anyway, I work with tarot anyway, so I combine the two and bring them to you. It's the way I can give back. Because it is general, only take what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. Don't try and twist a reading to something that isn't for you. If it resonates in your heart, you know it's for you. If it doesn't, then leave it behind or come back to it at a later date. It might be that some things are going to unfold for you that you might be able to look back at these energies at the end of your day and make sense of the energies that you've encountered, both within yourself and within others, and just in the environment around you. So for the 22nd of July 2020, we've got the star card that pops up. And this star card is a promise. It is it all of the stars that for me represent the Pleiades. It's a promise of the connection to the all, but it's an invitation to allow your emotions to flow like water. It's an invitation to give yourself some space within by releasing some of those emotions. Everybody has been through a lot. Everybody in particular over the last 5 months has been through a crazy amount of ups and downs, both within their inner circle, within their inner selves, and on the collective stage. And so sometimes we do need to pause and realize that we might be banging our heads against a brick wall, trying to take the advice, trying to do the meditation, trying to ground ourselves. Yet there's very little space within for us to clear our minds to meditate, for us to relax our bodies, to be able to get grounded enough to begin the process of processing what we've been through and healing them and using them as something we can go forward with, rather than an anchor that holds us down in a repetitive cycle. And so the star card is about healing and hope. It's about the dream world, the spirit world, the connection to that. It's the circuit board between ourselves and the experiences that we've been through and how we heal from that. The star card doesn't recognize the gravity of the pain. It just recognizes that there's something there to be healed. And a lot of you are trying to take the advice of meditation and trying to do what you're being requested or being advised or being guided to do, but without this ability to not be afraid of your emotions, almost trying to be in control of your emotions too much. And it's a fine balance. We mustn't let our emotions be in control of us. We mustn't be driven by our emotions. We must be guided by our emotions. But the people that I'm speaking to that this resonates with is you're locked up. And so actually, conversely, your emotions are actually taking control of you, because they're limiting how much you can actually heal, how much you can actually ground, because you're so frightened that if you start to cry, if you start to release, when will you stop crying? That if you start to see the truth within of these hurts and pains and wounds and confusion that you've felt, where will it stop? It will stop in, and for the people I'm speaking to today, it is overwhelming, it is frightening when you've locked up your emotions, when you've locked up your thoughts and your feelings for so long. It is frightening to let go of them. It is frightening to give them back to the earth. But you know, if you've lost somebody, whether that's to another realm in them passing, whether that is to a relationship here in the 3D, if you've been hurt, those tears, those wounds, those pains are worth a river of tears. And tears are not a sign of weakness. They are a physical manifestation of the release of pent-up emotions. And so today, if all you can do is give your tears to the ground, weep. Weep like Billy O, my granny used to say. And she used to say, things that mean something to you are worth a river of tears. Because after that, you will feel cleansed. After that, you will have space within to think with clarity, to think with hope, to have that healing, to be able to process any wounds in a much clearer mindset. Whoever I'm talking to today, you're too full up, too full up. It might not be wise for you to release your verbal feelings to the person or persons or things that you are feeling these wounds in regard to. So stick something up on the wall. Do what a child would do. Draw a stick man. Put the names of the people that you would wish you could speak to and tell them how you feel and how things have made you feel. And release release your emotions verbally to this piece of paper. Give them back to the air. Give them back to the world. The world is very capable of carrying them away from you and transmuting them for you. That's the great mother for you. But there must be a release today. If this resonates with you, there must be a release for you to be able to move this wheel of fortune being the second card, another major arcana. In releasing these emotions, not in a damaging or detrimental way, as I say, for the people I'm speaking to today, or the person I'm speaking to today, it may not be wise for you to release those verbal emotions or those tears to the person who you feel caused you these pains, these wounds, or the thing, the system, whatever it is that has done this to you. But there's ways around it. All your body needs right now is a little bit of space for healing. So it needs the release of those tears to bring down that blood pressure and make you feel wiped out, because crying like that does wipe you out. But it gives you space to be able to think with clarity and stop for a moment. Then let the second part of the process be that stick man pinned on the wall, and release everything verbally that you wish you could convey. The feelings that you have, the hurts that you have, the wounds that you have. It doesn't even matter that it's not directly to the person or persons. It's just a way of symbolically for you releasing that pent up emotion. And then it gives you space and time to see clearly, have that true healing, and recognize that healing very rarely never comes from someone else. It always comes from within. That healing is always to do The whole entire process is to do with you. And yes, sometimes we're lucky and sometimes things don't fall on deaf ears, and we have people around us to bolster us, to support us, to listen to how we've been made to feel. And then other times we just don't. It would fall on deaf ears and it would cause more pain and anguish. So do what you can symbolically, like I've suggested, to release those things. It only matters, it does not matter whether you feel like you can get some kind of retribution, revenge, or whether you can make them feel a little bit like you've been made to feel. It only matters that you are emptying yourself of that, because only you can truly make you feel better. Only you can truly make you heal from these wounds. 9 times out of 10, it isn't even wise to go to the person that's, in your perception, helped cause those wounds and those pains and those hurts, and expect that they would be the very people to heal them, that they would be the very people to fill that space within you in a kind way. It has to come from you. And with that, that's the start of your self-sourcing healing. Recognizing the power that you have, the healing power that you have to heal thyself, O healer. And then that gives you the space to meet your wheel of fortune with gusto, with energy, with grace, and with poise, having learnt a hell of a lot. More about yourself and some about other people and the characteristics that they have. And turn your wheel. If you can do this kind of healing, your wheel will turn, and to clarify that, we see that we have a different perspective in the Hangman. This is a powerful, powerful day for you if this resonates with you in any way, shape or form. 3 major arcanas to come out together. The Hangman sees things. He lies in wait. He's not going and being busy about it, but because he's hanging upside down, he's seeing things from a different perspective. Where you previously maybe kept going back to the source of your pain and the source of your never-ending wounds, both inner and outer for some people, the Hangman realizes that there's a different way. And it's the way that I described, i.e. healing yourself, not going back to the source of pain that caused you the pain in the first place and expecting it to heal you and give you that courage to go forward. No, this Hangman shows you that seeing it from a different perspective of how actually powerful you are, and you encapsulate everything that you have, that you need to go forward in true healing, in true clearing of the slate. The Hangman has wisdom and discernment, and so with this different perspective, you go forward having learned lessons about a certain character with certain characteristics. You know how to avoid and navigate yourself around that in the future. So this time has not been wasted, this time has not been lost. You've just gained a few scars of a warrior. You've just gained a few scars of your own internal battle to realize that you lift yourself up, you hold yourself up, and you can heal yourself and move yourself forward. And so, taking you a step closer to your destiny, to your soul's path. You need to be guided on intuition with new perspectives, not ruling out the new just because you're so used to the old. Lots of cards dropped there, so I'm not going to take that. It can feel overwhelming, it can feel difficult, of course it can. But this marks the end of a long trial for you if this resonates with you. This marks a true learning about self and leveling up. The hangman is in no hurry. He has time to contemplate which path to take and how to take it, how best to take it, how best to navigate through it. You have all the time in the world right now. Stop, release, heal, see things from a different perspective, and take ownership of your wheel, take ownership of your destiny, of your soul's path. What did you come here to do? What brings you joy? What helps you feed joy into the collective? What fuels you most? And don't limit yourself. Think big, think wide, think far. And so the third card being this Two of Cups. If this is in regard to what you thought was love, this true, deep, deep, deep healing is talking about the healing and the balancing and leveling out and the recalibration of the divine feminine and divine masculine within you. That you have those two attributes, those two divinities within to take you forward. And when you have those within you in their rightful place, if part of your path is to choose to be with a soulmate, then that's what you can attract now. So again, nothing wasted, no time wasted, no experience wasted, even the most painful ones that you're trying to heal from right now. Because it brings you closer to being able to recognize and attract true soulmates. A soulmate that is a part of you, that you can trust, that you can go forward with on exciting adventures. And for the other people, this resonates with you in the aspect of the inner divinities, the divine feminine and divine masculine, being in balance, attracting the right people around you, attracting your tribe around you, and knowing that you are a self-sourcing energy pod. You are enormous in your power, and when you recognize it, you can heal yourself, you can fuel yourself, you can excite yourself. This even talks about, for me, for a lot of you, learning about Kundalini, learning about how to even self-source your own drug-like, well, it's not drug-like, it is like, without taking any substance outside of self, the kind of self-love, the Kundalini energy that will blow you away and that will give you an idea of what your standards should be when meeting a soulmate. A soulmate that could reach you from the other side of the world and make you feel that intense, intense passion, intense, intense self-fueling. That's the kind of thing that exists when you learn it within yourself first. But without learning it within self first, you're not going to attract that. And if you do attract it, you're not going to be able to keep it around you. You won't understand it. So take this time to show yourself how much you can heal yourself. Know that when you channel emotions, they aren't in control of you. You can use them to release and give you space to think clearly, to go forward. So on this card here, you see the Two Cups, you see that it's a male and a female, and then you see the two snakes going up towards this lion-headed angel. The two snakes representing that Kundalini energy, them both representing either your soulmate outside of self that you will meet and you will match and you will be on par with, or that you have this divine masculine and divine feminine within, and this Kundalini magic within, lying there dormant, waiting for you to embrace it and unlock the key to it. To clarify that, they popped out the Fire Princess and the Air Princess. These are young minds, and it doesn't matter how old you are in your physical age. The Fire Princess talks about being able to take risks, the good news, messengers, but being able to follow your passions, follow where you're, instead of being so stuck and so fixed in the 3D, to be able to follow your passions, to not be afraid to take a risk. What have you got to lose? To go forward in a way that really makes you feel on fire. And so we've got the Air Princess. The Fire Princess as well, she is the comedian. Laugh. After you've released these tears, don't be afraid if you start to laugh. Like on Bedknobs and Broomsticks, when they start to laugh, I think that's the title. But he starts to laugh and he goes up, floating up to the ceiling because he's light as air. Because he's just laughing, he's releasing, and so it makes him feel light. It makes him float in the air. And so be the comedian afterwards, and don't be afraid, as I say, if you start these river of tears today, that you may end up in hysterical laughter. Don't worry, you're not going crazy. Your body is just so relieved. And it does get a bit funny. When we've cried and cried and cried, we get a runny nose, we can't speak properly, and quivering lip, and look in the mirror and laugh. Not at yourself, with yourself. Go through the whole gamut of emotions so that you're not afraid of them, so that you are in charge of them. Again, more warrior training. And then we go to the Air Princess. Be dexterous of mind, be movable, be excited about new adventures, about new knowledge. Do some research, find out what really fires you up, what you love finding out more about. Whoever it is that loves fishing and hasn't been fishing either as much or in a long time, go fishing and do it with somebody who, I can see you both smiling at each other. Do it with somebody, a friend, a partner who you haven't spent enough time with or you haven't been in touch with in a long time. Go fishing. I can hear you laughing already. And so do things that make you light of heart. That if you sit at home, if you sit frightened, if you stay locked in a relationship or whatever it is that is causing wounds and pains and upsets and causing you to feel trapped, then you are limiting what the universe can give to you, what messages can even be brought to you. So move outside of whatever box you're in right now, just to see what messages come through. Somebody go into a shopping centre, please leave a comment. If you hear this and you're brave enough to do so, go into a shopping centre is going to hear something very profound from a complete stranger that absolutely resonates and absolutely gives you the key to unlocking something that you've been struggling with. And the Air Princess accepts that, and the Fire Princess is excited by that. And so to be moldable, to be teachable, look out for messages that come in the most strangest form from loved ones that have passed over, from the spirit realm. The veil is so thin right now and connections are trying to be made. Don't lock your loved ones out in spirit. Don't lock their messages out. Take note of them. Believe them when they happen. And so somebody is going to get guidance from there somewhere. We end up again, I think it's the third day in a row, with the Fool card on the bottom of the deck. There are new beginnings, but you mustn't be too afraid to take them. You mustn't be too locked in your box to be limited to even be able to see them. Yes, you will fall along the way. Yes, there might be certain dangers that you perceive. But what are you doing right now? Because the people I'm picking up on aren't happy, either in all aspects of their life or just some aspects of their life. Only you can fix this. But believe me, you have the capacity, the power, and the knowledge to fix this. You just have to be brave enough to take the first step, the second and third step, and by the fourth and fifth, you'll be rolling. You won't even have to think about taking those steps. You'll be in flow. That new perspective will be shining through. And it won't be shining through from a foundation of hurts and pains and wounds. No, the Star card gives you that new foundation, that new basis to go forward. After you break down all of the illusions in your life and the things that meant you harm, this comes after the Tower card. Rebuilding a foundation that is in knowing and in acknowledgement of spirit, physical, emotional, and mental, and not being afraid, knowing that you have the capacity to be in charge of all of them without limiting the powers of any of them and putting them in a box and locking them away. You know you don't need to be afraid anymore. You can be in charge of all of them. It's a beautiful, beautiful reading and very powerful for those who resonate with it. So I'm going to wish you much love, very powerful. Be balanced and be whole. If you would like private reading with me, any guidance, any spiritual guidance, any energy work, get in touch with any of the details below. If you're dropping me a message on Facebook, please message at True Divine, the business page, just because when I get messages in my private messenger, there's so many of them come through each day that they get lost. So often I don't see, and I don't like letting people down who are coming to me for a service. So please message at True Divine on Facebook if that's the case. Much love. Mwah. You're doing awesome. You're doing brilliantly. Just release and let me know how it goes. See you soon.